So in the last lecture, we had a theoretical overview of what is JSON Web Token and how it is created. We also learned that we can say that a user is authenticated when the user's client has received an access token from the server. And that access token will act as an identity proof for the user for accessing any protected route. Now, we send access token in the response if the login request is successful. But in some applications, you will see that a user is immediately logged into the application as soon as he registers or sign up. So after the registration is successful, the user does not have to make a new login request to get authenticated. And we want to do the same thing in our Book My Stay application also. We want to log in the user as soon as the user is signed up and his account is created. Currently, if I go to VS Code, inside this signup route handler function, we are just creating and saving the user in the database, and in the response, we are saving the user details. But here, after the user is successfully signed up, I also want to send a JSON Web Token in the response. And as soon as the client receives a JSON Web Token in the response, that means the user is authenticated and he can access the protected resources. So after the sign up is successful, along with the data, I also want to send the JSON Web Token in the response, because as soon as the user has signed up successfully, I want to automatically authenticate that user, and the user should be able to access any protected route. Now, in order to send an access token in the response, we are going to create a JSON Web Token. And to create a JSON Web Token in an Express application, here we are going to use a third-party package called JSON Web Token. So again, I'm going to open VS Code built-in terminal, and here I'm going to select command prompt. Again, let me clear the terminal here, and here let's go ahead and let's install a package from npm, and I want to install a package JSON Web Token. Okay, make sure that you have typed it correctly. Let me press enter, and it is trying to install JSON Web Token for this Express application, and it is complete. So if I go to package.json file, in the dependencies we should also have JSON Web Token installed, and you can see that version 9 of this package has been installed for this Express application. All right, let me close this package.json file. Now, in order to use this JSON Web Token package, we also need to require it. So here I'm going to create a variable. I'll call it as JWT. And let's go ahead and let's require the package called as JSON Web Token. Now, before we go ahead here, let me go ahead and let me open Chrome browser. And here again, I'm going to go to npmjs.com, and there let's search for JSON Web Token package. And let's go to this documentation. Okay, so this is the documentation for that JSON Web Token package. And here, if I scroll down, we can see how we can create a JSON Web Token using this package. So for that, we have a sign method. And to this sign method, we need to pass a payload and a secret key. And then it also takes an optional callback. So basically, in the last lecture, we learned that a JSON Web Token is created using a header, a payload, and a secret key. So header plus payload plus secret key combined together creates a signature, and that signature combined with header and payload again creates a JSON Web Token. So on our server, we need to have a secret key, we need to pass a payload, and the header will be automatically added by this JSON Web Token package. So we don't need to add it manually. If I scroll down to see the use, you see, in order to create a token on this JWT variable, we are calling the sign method. To that, we are passing a payload and we are passing a secret key. And that's all we need to do. Header will be automatically added by the JSON Web Token package. We don't need to add it manually. And this is going to return us a JSON Web Token. We can store it in a variable and then we can send it back to the client. So let's go back to VS Code, and there, after we have created the user, after that, We're going to generate a token. So here, let me go and let me create a variable. I'll simply call it as token. And here, in order to create a token on this JWT, we have a sign method. And to this sign method, we need to pass the payload and we need to pass the secret key. So for the payload here, you can pass anything. Here, what I'm going to do is in the payload, I'm going to specify an ID property. And to this, I'm going to assign the ID of the newly created user. So remember that this new user is going to store the newly created user, the document for the newly created user in the database. And on that document, we have an underscore ID field. So we are going to read the value of that underscore ID field and we are going to assign it to this ID property. So this is going to be my payload using which I want to create a JSON Web Token. Now in this payload, you can have as much information as you want. If you want, you can also add the email of the user. You can add the first name or last name of the user. Okay, so you can add as much information here as you want. And the more the information, the secure the JSON Web Token will be. But here I want to keep things simple. And that's why I'm only going to add this ID here. Actually, I'm going to call it as user ID instead of ID. And to that, I'm going to assign the ID of the newly created user. Okay, but as I said, here if you want, you can also pass the complete user object. So here I can also go ahead and I can simply pass this new user. So here I can create a user variable and to that I can assign this new user. So this payload also you can pass. But remember that whatever you pass as the payload, that can be decoded and anyone can see the information which you have in the payload. So if you also have the password of the user in the payload, that will also be visible. But here, instead of passing the complete user object, I'm simply going to create a user ID property. And to that, I'm going to assign the ID of the newly created user. So using this payload, I'm going to create a JSON Web Token. And then as the second argument, we need to pass the secret key. The secret key can be any string value, but according to the standards of SHA-256 encryption for the signature, the secret key should be of at least 32 characters long. But longer the string is, the more secure generated token will be. But at least it should be of 32 characters. And your secret string can be any string value. It can be the name of your project or some meaningful statement, etc. So for example, here for the secret key, I can also pass, let's say, book my stay, which is the name of my project. So this will also act as a secret key. Now here, instead of creating a secret key like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an environment variable because this secret key, we might want to read it from multiple places. So there, instead of passing this string like this, we can create an environment variable. Here I will create an environment variable and I'll simply call it as secret key. And to that, I'm going to assign that string value, which is book my stay. Okay, but as I said, the secret key should be of at least 32 characters because that is the standard. And here, instead of using a string like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate a 32-bit string and I'm going to use it as my secret key. So for that, again, I'll go back to the browser and here I'm going to open ChatGPT. And here I'll simply say generate a 32-bit secret string for my Express app. Okay, and here it has given us this string. So I'm going to use this string as my secret key. Let's go back to VS Code and there let me specify that string. Let's save the changes here. And now we are going to pass this secret key as the second argument here. So for that, again on the process object, we have .env variable and on that we will have secret key environment variable. So that I want to use here. Okay, so this payload is the first argument. The secret key is the second argument. And as the third argument, we can also pass some options. For that here, we need to pass an object like this. And in that object, we can specify some options like when this token will expire, who will be the audience for this JSON Web Token, and who is the issuer, etc. Here, I'm simply going to specify a single option, which is expires in. So this is one option which we can specify, and here we can specify after how much time this token will expire and it will become invalid, because we don't want a token to be valid forever. So for example, let's say a user has logged in now. So the token which he is going to receive, it can be used for accessing protected resources for some time. But that token should not be used forever to access the protected resources. So the token should expire at some point. And to this expires in, we can specify that time. So for example, here I can go ahead and I can specify that the token should expire after 30 days, or it can expire after 1 hour, something like this. Okay, so here I'm going to set it to 30 days. And again, instead of writing it like this, I'm going to create an environment variable for that. And here, let's say the environment variable name is login expires. And I'm going to assign it with 30D. That means 30 days. Let's save the changes here. And now, again, we are going to use this environment variable to assign the expire time for this expires in property. So for that, we can say process.env.login expires. Let's save the changes. And in this way, this JSON Web Token will be created. Now, in order to authenticate the user, we are going to send this JSON Web Token in the response. So for that, here in the response object, I'm going to create another variable called token. And to this token property, I want to assign the value stored in this token variable. With this, let's save the changes and let's go ahead and let's test this out. So let's go back to Postman. And now I'm going to create a new user. Before that, let me also open Compass. And here, let's connect to this cluster. Let's open this bookmystay database. And there, let's go to this users collection. And currently, we have only one user, which is John Smith. Now I'm going to create one more user. And let's say the username is Mark Watt. And for him, the email ID is markwatt@gmail.com. And I'm going to keep the password as test1234 and confirm password as test1234. Now, if I send this request, okay, there is some problem. I think the database connection has not happened. Okay, the application itself is not running. So for that, let's run npm start command. So Express server is up and running and connection is also successful. Let's go back to Postman again and let's make this request again. So you will see that the user is created. We have received this 201 created response. And in our example, Postman is the client. So from Postman, we made a request to the Express application. And once the sign up request was successful, in the response, we have received the newly created user, as well as we have also received the token, the access token. And this access token will be used by the client for accessing the protected resources. Okay, so now the client has to store this token somewhere, because this token needs to be sent with every other request which we are going to make from the client in order to access a protected resource. So the client, in our example, this Postman, it can store this information in a cookie, or if we are making a request from the browser, we can store this access token in, let's say, local storage of the browser. So somewhere the client has to store this information so that whenever we will make a request to access a protected route after the user is authenticated, with that request, we need to send this token. And this token will be validated on the server. And if this token is valid, if it is not expired, or if it is not manipulated, in that case, the user will get access to the protected route. Okay. And also for this token, we have set the expiry date as 30 days. So after 30 days, this token will not be valid. So this token cannot be used to access protected route after 30 days. After 30 days, this token will become invalid. And in that case, the user needs to log in again and generate a new access token. Now, in the last lecture, I also mentioned that this token, which has been generated here, we can also decode it. So let me copy this token and let's go back to the browser. And in there, let's open another website, which is JWT.io. Okay. And in here, if I scroll down, here we have a dummy JSON Web Token. But here, if I paste the token which our Express application has generated and which we have copied from Postman, in there you will see that now we can see all the information. The payload in this case that has been decoded, and in the payload we can see that we have the user ID of the user which we have created. If we would have used the complete user object itself, then we could have seen all the information about the user, like the first name of the user, last name of the user, email of the user, password of the user, etc. But here, for the payload, we just passed this user ID. So we can see that user ID in the decoded payload. Now here you will also say that first of all, this signature is saying that this is an invalid signature. And here we also have this IAT property and EXP property in this payload, which we have not specified. Well, remember that this IAT stands for issue date, at what time this token was issued. And this EXP stands for expiration time. So this token which we have generated, it is going to expire after 30 days. So this is the timestamp for that time when this token will expire. And these two properties are added by JSON Web Token package itself. And since we have these two properties here in the payload, that's why it says that the token is valid, but signature is invalid. And the reason for that is, if I go back to VS Code, we have learned that the signature is created using the header, the payload, and the secret key. So basically, when the JSON Web Token was getting generated, at that time, first the signature was generated. And in order to generate this signature, this payload was used where we only have the user ID property. And this secret key was used, and the header was automatically added by this package. So it generated a secret key. After the secret key was generated, since we have also specified these options here, basically here we have one option. So this option also got added to the payload. But this has been added after the signature is generated. Okay, signature is generated only this payload. And after the signature has been generated, the issue date and expires property is also added to the payload. So now when we are decoding this JWT, at this time, a test signature will be created. And in the last lecture, we learned that the signature will be created using the header, the payload, and the secret key. So if you see, the payload is different here than what we specified when we were creating the signature from Express. And that's why the test signature, which has been created here, it does not match the signature of the JWT which we have. And that's why we have this invalid signature error. I hope you got this point. But if I remove these two properties from here, let's see if we can remove it or not. Okay, so I'm not able to remove it from here. But if we try to create a signature without these two properties, in that case, the signature will be valid. So as you can see, a JWT, its payload can be decoded and its header can also be decoded. All right. So now whenever a user is going to sign up to our application, the user will be immediately logged into the application after the successful sign up. And he should be able to access any protected resources which he has access to. Okay. And in this way, we have completed the sign up functionality. From the next lecture, let's start working on the login functionality. So this is all from this lecture. If you have any questions from this lecture, then feel free to ask it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.